Hi there, welcome back to card 2 of my July card kit. I probably should have said last time, shouldn't I? I'm Colette Thornton. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the UK. Ho hum. This one's a cute little fun fold. You can write on the back of there. So what we'll need for this one is you will need, so there's this stitched shape die cut in your cellophane packet, one of the quarter pieces of card that we'd spliced and diced in the last card, your piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock, and this piece of designer series paper. So you've all got in your kit 6 by 12 inches, so you'll need the full size for this card. So first of all, where's my trimmer? What we need to do is we need to cut this card. So for the purpose of this card and just making life a little bit easier, I cut this at 10.5 in the portrait, but I then cut this to 15. Purely because I wanted to make life easier. So this was our piece from before, and we need to cut that to 10 by 14.4. Probably should have just cut them all that way, but I know somewhere along the line I've used different measurements. Oh, my trimmer's stuck. And then the only other thing we need, she says, a trimmer for. So this is your piece of designer series paper. So you will see that we need to trim this, and it's literally a smidgen. If you put your short edge at the top of the trimmer, so what would have been your 6 inch, we're trimming this. It's literally that tiny slither that's coming off. And then if you turn it and cut it at 30 centimetres, again it's gonna, oh, she says as she plonks down the blade, it's going to be a smidgen, just like that. And then you're going to want your scorer, and you're going to want 2 score lines, so the first being at 10 and the second at 20 centimetres. Please remember that you are scoring paper, it's not card, so you don't need to be heavy-handed, because you will find very quickly, where's 20? Come on, Colette. There you go. So you've now got 3 sections in there. We're still going to need a trimmer, but not at this very second. So what you'll see now, I'm hoping you can see anyway, there's a score line here and a score line here. What I did was I grabbed a regular. If you're happy enough, you can do this straight on your trimmer, which is probably how I did it last time. But I measured 5.5 centimetres. So what's that? That's the equivalent of, probably go 2.25. She says, why didn't she just check? Yeah, 2.25 would do. So you can mark there where you've got that. And then what you need to do is have this piece here, so you know that you're going to want that at 5.5. Okay, that's around about there. But you need to get, I'm hoping you can see this on here. So this is where, oh no you can't. My 5.5 centimetre mark is here. So that is now on the run of my trimmer, and it goes right up to the first score line that I've got here, and cut it. Okay, it's scary for some people, I get it. And then what we want to do is we fold this piece back onto here. I was a woman of my word. I went to find a bone folder. Can't deal with it otherwise. And then this one back on here. It means that you get to see both sides of the designer series paper, which is what I really love. But it will also give you that something to hold whilst you're doing that. You'll also see this piece here is pretty much this, and I've just chopped it here and taken a centimetre off. It will all depend on where your florals are kind of in your paper, because I fussy cut a flower to go around here. So you'll see I've not got many options on here. So I was likely to fussy cut something, maybe half of a flower to sit over the top. Everybody will have different leftover, okay? And it's just the nature of the beast. If I'd have gone the other way, maybe. I don't think I still would have had one, if I'm honest. So, depends which half of the paper you get, I think. So, we need to stick this down to here. So your large panel. Oh, I forgot to turn my notifications off. Something's buzzing on my phone. There we go. Goes onto your Blackberry Bliss. What you will have is the height of your card is the same, because when it opened you didn't want to have the shorter bit, but there will be a tiny border either side. You've got about 2.5 millimeters to play with either side. So good old Tombow allows you to have some wiggle room and move that about until you're happy. Okay, then I put what? Don't put your banner on yet. Stamp your banner first. Getting ahead of myself this evening. So back with the Blackberry Bliss, sticking with the, I've done the cardinal sin and put my thumb in the ink. So sticking with the Tulip Fields stamp, I've got No One Deserves a Happier Birthday Than You. I love the sentiments in this stamp set. So because you're stamping a die cut, you may want to get the Stamparatus out. I'm going to hope and pray that I've done okay. I'm going to take that as a win. I do not normally have success like that when it comes to anybody that does my cards regularly will know that too. So I'm going to prop this up with some dimensionals, because I do like me a dimensional. I think they just add another little bit of depth to the cards. So I'm going to purposely plot them down the middle and not too high, because I want possibly to be able to tuck something behind. Make sure your sentiment's up the right way. The beauty of this DSP is that you can use the grid. And I've just done it down the centre of the squares to find my spots. So I think the closest I've got to a decent floral is probably this one here. I don't even know if you can see very well, so apologies if you can't, and I'm chatting to you. Then I'll quite happily have that out of the top. I loved the last one, so I don't know if I used excess for it or not. I'd like to think I didn't, because I like to just create with the kit that I'm giving you. So I'm going to cut that, knowing that that is going to work inside for me. That, and I can't be tempted to use anything on there then. So let's see. What I'd probably be tempted to do is use a few. So let's have for some reason I've chosen to fussy cut in a direction I would never normally. I can't see what I'm fussy cutting, so I've been a real winner today. But again, anybody that knows me well enough knows that's kind of me. So I'm thinking that we can potentially have that there and have something else here to cover it. Because then I wonder if that will work. Let's try it. I'll try anything once. Don't worry, I've not gone completely cranky. I intend on playing with this a little bit more. But I just don't want you guys to find yourselves in the same predicament and not knowing how to overcome it. And I've got my dimensionals on here, so always go sideways, never lift. That was what the lovely Lizzie all taught me at a recent craft retreat. See there, and then because you're overlapping those, you don't see that there's a line there. And then we cut some more big petals here. These can be tucked here. And you would never, ever, ever know. I'm quite pleased with that, actually, if I'm honest. So let's find me. Did I glue this or did I? It's on dimensionals. That's fab. That works for me because it allows us to tuck in a little bit more. So I've already, where I'd lifted my sentiment, it's actually stuck that down underneath the dimensional. So I'm just going to put a little bit of Tombow there just in case it ever decides to lift itself. These things do have a habit of sometimes doing that. And then having a dimensional on each of these. There you go, we problem solved together. So I'm going to overlap that there, so it's going to kind of look like more petals in there. And if you don't like the fact that you could potentially still see that line, you can cut another petal and have that in there. So if you wanted that flat like that, I'm sure I had another one I could easily cut. So we could go, that's a nice large one there. Just want to double check. Yeah, let's go the large one. Apologies, I've got the windows open because it's so hot and I can hear kids still outside, so I'm hoping that that doesn't transfer to the video. But if it does, apologies. Can only control my two, and they are long in bed. There we go. So there's a mishmash of all the different pieces there. So then we can open that out. Do we have it that way? So I think if we chop a centimetre, I will use my trimmer for it, just because I dislike guessing anything like Actually, let's go a bit bigger. Let's go 1.5. I didn't do it in the last one, but you can always put some of the flowers from the last card in there. So this works entirely as you want it to. So you can have it down here. I know some people like to have things further down. You can fussy cut some of the flowers and put a little display of them down here. It is quite literally each to their own with how they do things. Or again, you could put that piece, it's slightly shorter, but you could trim that edge off there, but have some flowers. Oh, I quite like that idea. Maybe I should have done that the last time. The creative juices always end up flowing. So you've just got a purple splash in there, but you can always do more. Again, I've got, because on the front we had 9 deserves a happier birthday than you, I put love you so much on the back. I didn't get my stamp out for that one. I was so prepared with all of the others. Never mind. Love you so much. There we go. And again, we did that with Blackberry Bliss. Let's take, oh, ink everywhere. That's what happens when you don't prep for your session properly, Colette. I'm really sorry if perfect crafting was what you was after. Really not your gal. So, I don't think I shared it in my newsletter actually, but we had another winner for scratch cards last month. Lovely Joe won a scratch card. I have got new scratch cards as of this month. I went to order some more off of the lovely lady that usually does them, and she stopped doing them sadly. And it meant I had to change my logo slightly as well for them to fit on her cards. I didn't want to not send any, so you're going to have to let me know how successful they are and how easily they scratch off, because I know I had some a while back that didn't scratch very well. So if we have issues with them, please let me know. But the lady came highly recommended, and I think I asked her to put different prizes underneath each of the winning. So I think in 20 cards, I think there's 5 winners, but there's a different prize under them. So there's embellishments, dimensionals, oh, I can't remember, glue dots I think was there, Tombow, and something else that I can't remember. So hopefully, well, if you find one, please take a picture and put it in the, either put it in the Let's Create VIP group, or pop it on my page. I'd happily see either. But don't forget to let me know that you've won. Thank you. There's that second card, and I'll be back in a mo for another.